Rats. Motorcycles.
Biker mice from Mars.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of expecting. I'm like, well, the guy in the banner isn't a mouse, but I was expecting like kind of like, there's a part in the game where you're being chased by something, and
A large robot.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, is the whole game like that or what? But I like the concept. Like, I like the fact you're driving around, you've got your own like pack. It reminds me of like, what if you had a steampunk version of Full Throttle? But it's an action game.
This feels more like a...
Yeah.
I feel like there's a term for it, but it feels like a Roswell punk sort of game where it's like...
The thing is, it's like... It reminds me of like, what if you had the controls almost of rock and roll racing? It's not perfectly like that. And you put it into like a steampunk adventure racing game. And like you can turn your bike around with the press of a button. You can move your bike sort of side to side. And that's what I found like really difficult. Like I found that decision to move the bike like that. It was really hard to like sort of in relation to where the camera is. The camera's like behind here. And you're like sort of wavering along. And like there were so many times where it was hilarious, but like we would always explode. Like you aim your bike upwards, it's like, woo, stall, oh crap, bounce.
Yeah.
Or like, woo, or the bike would fall on you. Like I feel like this game's fairly forgiving. I think you have like 4 or 5 lives.
No, 4 hits.
Is it 4 hits? Okay,
yeah.
That's how they do it.
And if you fall over 4 times, that's a game over.
Yeah, and like you start from the very beginning, which does
of the level,
not,
and
it's not that bad, but like it's still annoying.
But once you make like
all these silly deaths.
But like once you make like enough progress halfway, it does get frustrating to just start all over. It
kind of does because like it feels like even though you are making some progress, like it feels like you're not making enough for the time you're investing.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. And
like to give you an example,
I think this game was $20. I don't remember, but like I feel like 15, 20 tops. I don't remember the price, but like
no, you know what the stupid thing is? They give you the checkpoints throughout the game, and when you fall over, you start from that point. But when you actually die and it's game over...
Yeah, you have to go from the very start of the level. So it's not super hard. It's just it's kind of frustrating because like you feel like, okay, I made some progress, and then like the games you would think would let you go from one of those checkpoints, like the latest one. And it's like, no, wait, Jose, you have to go from the back.
Yeah, no.
And it's not even hard. Like, it's just, like, stupid deaths. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, like...
It's not punishing, but it's just like, oh, well, that kind of sucks.
Especially in, like, this one level where you're being chased by a large robot that's shooting laser beams out of its eye.
Yeah.
And you're basically, like, you have the robot trying to blast you, and you can't actually slow down and figure out where to go. Yeah. And then you have all these things in front of you.
Because you can knock those things out of the way. Like almost everything you can cut with your tire has like a flaming sort of like Ghost Rider effect.
Yeah, like a flaming
saw. You can
saw.
jump, sort of like this sort of semi-jump, half jump.
Yeah, but
it's more of like a pounce, I guess, or
but the problem is
hop jump.
The problem is that you're expected to go at such a fast speed that you can't even see where you're going.
You can't see ahead. That's the problem. Like that's just the design decision. And while like I think it's cool because it keeps you on your edge, I think it does make the game a lot harder.
Yeah.
If you could change the point of view, which I don't think you can. Yeah, that's what makes it a lot harder than it could be.
Here, but again, you know what this actually reminds me of? The whole being chased by a wall of fire while obstacles are in your way. It reminds me of Sonic 06.
It feels like that, but it's like 2.5D. That's the thing. It's kind of like Yoshi's Story-ish, with the way that they've done the two, like sort of 3D, sort of 2D.
Yoshi's Yarn?
Well, Yoshi's Story sort of started that, I think, the whole thing, like years ago. But yeah, Yoshi's Yarn sort of, from what I remember, does the same thing. I would say it's not a perfect game. Like it's not a horrible game, but like
it's not
these things,
100% perfect.
These things are like take away from your enjoyment. And I'd give it a 7.5. I wouldn't give it an 8. Like that would be the maximum I'd give it because it's got these flaws that, diminish your enjoyment.
And
for
even the
game.
controls are low. But again,
Yeah.
it still feels pretty enjoyable. Like crashing through obstacles feels enjoyable. And again, if like the physics engine for this is such a hoot and holler that you can't help but
Excuse me.
laugh, especially if you're with a friend and
Affected by the weather.
they're watching you just fuck up. It's
Yeah.
fun. That's what
I'd say it's funny. It's just those design decisions really affect your enjoyment.
that's why I'm gonna borrow your score and make this an 8 out of 10 as well.
You're gonna add 0.5?
No, I never go 0.5 because if I add 0.5 to literally everything, I basically have a 20.
10.5, everything.
I have a 20-point scale.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say the graphics are pretty decent, but you're really far away from the motorcycle. Like, I feel like you don't feel as immersed in the game. Like, I can deal with that camera angle, but I feel like because you're so far away from the character,
The camera angle for me is not that bad.
I just
mean,
feel the character's like really small, and I feel like I'm not in on the action. I'm just like watching the gameplay itself almost, because you're so far away from the motorcyclist.
yeah, but for me, the motorcycle segment, the angle of which you're seeing the motorcycle doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I think it's just the distance for me. Like, if it like was sideways some of the time, like some video games, and then like the other time you're like driving forwards, or I don't know, something like that. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is here. It's very hard to drive because like the way that your bike turns, it's like it doesn't turn responsively. It's just like a gradual turn. and
Yeah,
it makes
that's
it
the
hard.
big problem about
Yeah,
the
and that's
whole-
why like when I'm driving along, it's like, oh, I gotta avoid this, and it's
Yeah,
like, oh, I gotta gradually avoid this.
Yeah, like I like the side view, but it does fuck with your depth perception.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I feel like it hurts the enjoyment of the game. Even if the way that your motorcycle turns is realistic, I feel like it still
Yeah.
affects like your ability to enjoy the game.
And then there are times where you turn your bike and then you didn't,
And you turn on the wall.
or you don't even realize that you're still
What
on the
did I
same
do?
plane.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
think that you can go in thinking
Yeah.
it feels like you're drunk motorcycling.
Nice, but not as nice as it sounds.
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, check out the Steel Rat. It's unique. There's not many motorcycle games that I can think of that are kind of like this. So,
Time to drunk drive away.
all right. I'm gonna be a biker mouse.
From Mars.
Keep on gaming.